The Grand Connection, and we are all about creating those grand connections that for you to connect, create, and collaborate, bringing you success here in our community. And we have an exciting news for you. There is a grand mixer coming up on Thursday, our time, Friday for those of you listening from Australia, and it's going to be absolutely fabulous. I have some of our partners for the mixer here today to introduce them, just so that you get to know them and a little bit about their communities. So you guys, you can share a bit about your communities too. And we're going to talk a little bit about collaboration, because that is what our event is about. The theme of the month is Grand Giving Celebration with a focus on collaboration, which is what we do at the Grand Connection. The event is going to be the time is 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time. That is 12, 1, 2, 3, 3 to, let me just see. I'm watching the ticker and it just went by the time. So let me get that here. It's 12 to 3 Pacific, 3 to 6 Eastern time, 8 to 11 UK. So guys in the UK, members that are listening here, take a nap because you don't want to miss out on this. And Australia, it is December 13th, the Friday, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. So we kind of changed our normal timing so that our members from the Grand Connection and our speakers from the Grand Connection can make it at the event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have never been to a Grand Connection mixer before, let me let you know how it goes. There is lots and lots of breakouts, and it's a fabulous community. This one, because it's a seasonal celebration, we're going to do some icebreakers. We're going to have some fun activities. You can have your seasonal backgrounds on. You can wear a hat. You can wear a crazy sweater. We're going to have lots of laughs. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to network, and we're going to make grand connections. So I look forward to inviting you all to come. And most of all, this is free and complimentary to everyone. So if you know somebody that's starting a business, looking to reach more people, wants to build a network, is looking for referral partners, wants to get on stages, invite them to come too, because this community is all about finding ways to succeed through collaboration, reaching other people's audiences, finding ways to get onto different podcasts, sharing content, sharing ideas, sharing resources, saving each other money. It's all here at the Grand Connection, and we'd love you to be part of it. So I'm going to start off by introducing you to one of our partners. Her name is Blaney Teal. Blaney has partnered with us many times in the past, and she has taught me so much about technology and about networking and about actually now starting to have that freedom lifestyle. For those of you planning retreats, you need to know her. She's a seasoned entrepreneur. She's the founder of MBX. She supports business owners with networking and event planning. Now she brings her expertise to her beachfront resort in Mexico. I'm jealous, just to say. Creating unique retreats that combine professional growth with a breathtaking off-the-grid experience in paradise. How exciting. Blaney, what can you share with us about collaboration?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be where I am today, Susan, if it's called collaboration. I have to be totally honest with you. I've been a part of the Grand Connection since the day you guys started. We fell in love with you and Carolyn, the organization, and all the community. And as my business grows, as you said, I do networking. We believe in making business connections, right? It's not about making the sale right away. It's about building connections. And so therefore, collaboration is a huge part of that. And it might come immediately the day you show up in a community, and it may come 2 years later. You don't know when that specific collaboration joint venture partner is going to show up in your life. So I had no idea when I met you and met this community that I would be running the most amazing boutique resort in Mexico. And trust me, my friends just left, told me they haven't seen a better beach anywhere in Mexico. And to have a place that we talk about giving back, right? You talk about grand giving. I found that this is my calling, that I'm able to give back to my connections, a place where they can bring their leaders, bring their top clients, bring their brainstorming like A teams. And so, as you know, recently we had one of the best grand collaborations, I think, ever. And that is one of the members, Kimberly Day from Grand Connections, came here and did her write a book at the beach retreat. And we did it in a week. But more importantly, she got me to write my book about profitable retreats and my boyfriend's book about getting that flip on, because he's into land flipping. So I'll tell you, she let us participate. I gave her the space to do her genius. And so I was able to become a 3-time Amazon bestseller, thanks to Kimberly Day. And then my boyfriend's book didn't make top seller, but he literally already got his top or first client for a $10,000 retainer at a JV partnership. And so I'm just thrilled, because if it wasn't for Grand Connection, it wasn't about just going in there with an open mind. I didn't know who I was going to meet, when I was going to meet them, or when we would need each other, right? When we would have this perfect collaboration. So it is amazing how it came together. She's already booked the next one for next October because it was so successful. So I'm just giving you a testimonial that you need to show up at this mixer, guys, because you don't know who you're going to meet. And you don't want to show up with the mentality of, oh, I got to make a sale. I got to make a connection and get some business, right? You need to show up with an open mind, because you don't know who needs who or who you can introduce people to. But that's why I really love the Grand Connection. And I'm so glad that, Kimberly Day and I were able to do this retreat and to do a second one, even better than the first one. But my boyfriend would have never done that book if he didn't come to that retreat. Hands down. So best connection ever. Thank you, Grand Connections.
Oh, thank you, Blaney. And I wished I was there. I was watching on Facebook and seeing all the things going on and the beautiful scenery. It looks absolutely fabulous. And I just can't wait to come out and see you in your new center. It's very exciting for you. And watching the journey, I love watching the journeys of our community and our members, how they start on one project and it just grows and you see it. And I know all of you here today too have that with your clients, that you get to see the growth and the transformation as people create those collaborations that bring them success, plus meet cool people. Like, you get to meet people all over the world. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. First, I want to introduce you next to Michael Whitehouse. He has an event coming up in the next 2 days. If you're listening to this live, that Michael just mentioned it too when you're talking about it and how people can access it. He's known as the guy who knows a guy, is a master connector, author, and networking expert with a global network and a passion for empowering entrepreneurs. He helps clients build meaningful partnerships and navigate growth. Michael, tell us how you feel about collaboration.
Collaboration is pretty much all I do, so I feel pretty good about it. So I find that for almost anything you're trying to do, there's someone out there in the world who can make it happen for you. And I'm so immersed into this at this point after 4 years actively. I've been networking for years, but since the pandemic, I've been doing it full time as the guy who knows the guy. And then I go outside this space and I meet people in the outside world who use words like competition and like, oh, I can't talk to them, we have a conflict of interest. And actually, I was just talking to someone the other day, and we're talking about possibly working together. And my first thought was, well, there might be a conflict of interest with one of my clients. And immediately, when that phrase comes to my mind, the next phrase is collaboration opportunity. And actually, what may well happen is that conflict, I introduce them to each other to work together and then loop me into it in order to solve that. Because conflict of interest means, if you have a conflict, you have to have a convergence. You have to be in the same space. So, I believe any kind of competition, any kind of conflict is an opportunity for collaboration. And when we work together, that's when the big, amazing, awesome things happen. And that's, anything you're looking to do can be done by meeting the right people, collaborating with the right people, bringing the right people together. And so that's why I created JV Connect. So JV Connect, it used to be JV as in joint ventures, but then I expanded past that. And now I say it's just valuable connections, because that's the whole concept of it, is 2 days of breakouts and meeting people. Because a lot of times I'll go to a networking event and there's some networking, but then there's a lot of not networking. There's a lot of speakers or a lot of pitching or a lot of something that isn't making connections. So I said, I'm going to make an event that's just valuable connections. So it's simply a series of breakouts and connections for 2 days. And so amazing things have happened there. I've had people report back to me they've made $20,000 off the connections they made in the 2 weeks after the event. I've had people tell me they made 30 connections in 2 days. And what's really cool, I always thought that you couldn't make deep connections in a virtual network event. That was for the follow-up. And then by the middle of day 2 of my own event, I'm watching people in breakout rooms, coaching each other and supporting each other and building collaborations right there live in the event, because when you put good people in proximity, get out of their way and let them connect, then some really powerful things can happen. It doesn't even matter what the format is exactly, as long as the event facilitates people coming together and making those connections, because people want to connect. They like doing it. It's valuable, it's profitable, it's awesome. And that's why that's most of what I do.
Thank you, Michael. That is it. And JV Connect's running for the next 2 days. And then our event is on Thursday, Friday for Australia, where we're going to be able to connect, create, and collaborate. And remember, the Grand Connection Mixer, this is our seasonal celebration. And usually these are just for members. This is open to everybody. So we invite you to come. We invite you to invite your friends. Think about your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor needs to get out there and start making some connections. Connections can happen in all parts of your life. And, speaking of connections, I am thrilled to introduce my next partner in this event, Kim Serafini. And Kim is a fabulous connection. I got to meet her. She spoke on our stage several times for some master classes and a demo of her amazing platform. And I got to meet her in Australia just like less than a month ago. And here we are on Zoom now. I met her in person. I gave her a hug. We had dinner together. It was absolutely fabulous. I met her cat. So this is one of these things that when you meet people on Zoom at these virtual mixers, they can become these collaborative connections. You can have a business together. You can, share in a book together. You can help each other reach to each other's audiences. There are so many ways to collaborate. Even sharing a post on social media as you start to get to know each other. And then you get to meet people who can become your friends, and you can travel and you can meet them. And it's just absolutely fabulous. When I went through Australia, I met many different Grand Connection members, and this made my trip absolutely fabulous. And I can't say it more than enough how grateful I am to the community and the opportunities that it presents to all of us to grow our business and grow our life. So Kim is the founder of and CEO of Positive Prime Technology. It's a leading health and edutech company. She's a best-selling author. She's an internationally recognized executive coach and the innovator of therapy. I'm probably not saying that right, Kim. So I want to first ask you to just explain what Positive Prime is, just briefly, because it's not here in your intro, what lithos therapy is, just short, and then tell us what collaboration means to you.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Do you know, when I first jumped into this live, I was introduced to the other people, two of whom you've already heard from. I was so pleasantly surprised. When we open ourselves to the possibilities and we just allow for extraordinary potential to reveal itself and for it to emerge, and I think that we enter these opportunities with open hearts and open minds, magic can and does happen. Serendipity and synchronicity is real for those of us who intend first and foremost with what could I do to serve this person? What could I do to help this person, support this person? Is there a way I can contribute? What could I contribute? What resources do I have? And so I'm going to encourage you to come along to this mixer and do so knowing that something spectacular will occur for you. Have that faith and confidence when you approach it in the right way. Now, interestingly enough, many years ago, I reached out to a man named Sean Acor, and he happened to be doing a Science of Happiness course with Oprah for the Oprah Winfrey Network. Ariana Huffington was involved, Kobe Bryant, and a few other people. I asked him to have a look at Positive Prime and tell me what he thought, what his opinions were. Was there any feedback he had? Could I improve it in any way? And lo and behold, Positive Prime sessions appear in that Science of Happiness e-course that Sean did with Oprah. It then got sold to Google, that particular course, and 50,000 people went and did that course. Now, it was one of the moments of my life that produced the greatest ripple effects, and it happened because of collaboration. I was sharing the tool or exercise and activity I had invented that's based in neuroscience and positive psychology and addresses human potential and personal development, self-improvement. But the fact is that I gifted it, I gave it to Sean Acor for him to improve his course with Oprah Winfrey. Who am I? I'm just a little girl down in Australia. I'm not even a neuroscientist. I'm not a positive psychologist. I'm not a scientist. And yet right now, we have the most exquisite opportunities. We're creating a documentary that's all about the science of positive priming, and I'm thrilled to be doing it. We've got tens of thousands of people who are on our platform. Maybe you would like to as well. We'd love you to. We've got an incredible certification program for life coaches. But what I can say is none of it would have happened if I hadn't been helped by others and if I didn't lead first with helping. I reached out to Marcy Scheimoff at the beginning of my journey with Positive Prime. She had written Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul and Happy for No Reason. And I shared with her my book, which is called I Am Grateful for Life. And I asked, what could I do to help her spread her message? That was actually how I approached her. And do you know what? She ended up introducing me to Paul Shealy. And Paul Shealy was one of the founders of the Transformational Leadership Club. I tell you this not to impress you, but to impress upon you. Lead with what can I offer, and the rest will unfold in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine, and it will all be advantageous and beneficial. So join us and dive deep, and I'll look forward to giving you a hug too if you ever come down under and you come to the Nautilus retreat.
Oh, thank you, Kim. Oh, your retreat center is absolutely gorgeous, and the energy is so positive. Positive Prime is definitely what it's all about, everybody. You got to connect with Kim. You got to check out Positive Prime as well, and you got to come and meet these people in person at, well, not in person, live virtually on Zoom, which is the second best thing to in person, at our mixer on December 12th in Canada, December 13th in Australia. Now, lastly, and lastly can be absolutely wonderful. I am so honored to introduce Richard Kaye, Dr. Richard Kaye. We have partnered with Richard for many years now. Long ago, my partner Carolyn and I, who's a collaboration in itself, said, we need to meet that guy. And we'd heard about you, we'd seen you speak on different stages, and we eventually got introduced to you, and we got to meet you, and you've been the most amazing partner. Richard has helped us find wonderful speakers. He's given us lots of advice. He's helped many of our members, and now he's helping people get publicity. Richard is known for working with entrepreneurs to help them accelerate the growth of their businesses. For nearly 3 decades, he's assisted people improve their bottom line. He's the recipient of the Whitehouse Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. And I am honored to introduce you, Richard. And I'd love you to share what collaboration means to you.
Susan, thank you for a wonderful introduction. You are the epitome of collaboration, you and Carolyn. That's all you do. Listening to everyone here, everybody here lives in the space of collaboration. Michael spoke to competition. That's what's called tier 1. That's I win and you lose. As the culture changes its vibration and raises it, it's how can I serve you? It's what do you need next? And when you do that and live in that space without waiting for something to come back, it's going to come back in ways that you cannot imagine. A very dear, now deceased friend of mine, Bernie Dorman, I love one of his expressions. Everyone these days is going on ships, going on cruises. Bernie used to say, the most important ship is relationship. As you build relationships, don't worry, don't look for what's in it for me. How can you serve other people? Be in the space of collaboration and cooperation. And I'll give you an example. Susan, you talked about that what we do is publicity. The other night, actually last night, as we're recording this, Lisa Nichols did a one-woman show on Broadway in Manhattan. And our company was involved. David, who was the president of the company, is the executive producer of that program. Why? Because we went out and I went out and approached Lisa on how can we serve you. I know Lisa for probably 30 years, and it's how can we serve you. She can have anyone she wants do her publicity, and she hired us to do that beyond this program. If you want to get out, newspapers call us to say, who can you send us? Who can you send an article about? We create so much publicity for people. I was on the phone with someone this morning. He says, I don't know if I can keep up with the business from this kind of publicity. You can when you understand how to be in the space of being in service. And Blaney, I'm in New Mexico, which is not new, and it's not Mexico. So it's just a little different. All right, Susan, back to you. Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to play with such an amazing team.
Well, we love playing with you, Richard. We love playing with all of you. And we'd like to play with everybody that's listening here when you come to the December 12th, December 13th in Australia, Grand Giving Seasonal Celebration that is free for everyone. This is a virtual business mixer. It is on Zoom. We have wonderful partners. You get to meet their communities. There will be lots of people here to meet. And for the times, I've said them before, but they're also on here. Let me just get them here so that they are on the bottom of this ticker tape. And that's 12 p.m. to 3 Pacific time, 3 to 6 Eastern, 8 to 11 GMT. That's UK time. Take a nap in the day so you're nice and fresh. Okay, you're gonna love it. And that's 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. AEDT time. That's the time for part of Australia. Australia does have a couple of time zones. So AED time in Australia. So it's on Zoom. What to do when you come? Prepare a short introduction that's 20 seconds long so that you can meet people and make them curious about what you do in the breakout rooms. Think about who you want to meet so that you can ask for what you're looking for, and share this with a friend. I love what Kim said, lead with what you can offer. And I loved what Richard said was think about how you can be of service to other people. These are the things to think about when you come, and you will come and meet other connections. It is about finding those collaborative connections. We're not here to pitch ourselves and sell ourselves. We're going to make connections. So we're going to introduce ourselves, get to know other people in the room, listen for what people are talking about, and see where we can be of service. And it will come back to you. Grand giving is all about being of service to others and all of us creating abundance together. I welcome you to come to our Grand Giving Mixer this week, and we look forward to seeing you on Zoom. It's going to be an